Hi guys, today we're going to learn about measurement proportions. So your objective is to use proportions for conversions or converting units of measurement. And this is page 33. All right, well first I'm going to look at my conversion chart and I'm going to look, because I'm trying to convert yards into feet, I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet and I've already put that on there for you. All right, so I just made a little model and this is representing yards. So if this yard is equal to 3 feet, and this one is 3, and this one, and this one, and this one, then really what am I doing? I'm multiplying. This would be 3 times 5, which is 15 feet. Okay? Now, another way I can do this is by making a proportion. There's also a little trick that I like to do with your arms. So, for example, I'm starting with yard. If I show how big a yard is with my arms, it's about this size, okay? And I'm going to feet, which is a smaller unit. So I'm going from yards to feet because my arms are already going in. I keep going and I cross them, so I'm gonna multiply. So that's why I multiplied 5 and 3 to get 15. Now, vice versa, if I start with a small unit and then I get to a larger unit, my arms are going out, just like a fraction bar, so you would divide. Okay, so now let's look at the proportion. Here are my 2 units, yards and feet. So I can actually make a proportion using yards and feet to convert. So here, I know that on my chart, it said 1 yard was 3 feet. So I take exactly off my chart, and that goes on one side, okay? This right here is from the chart. Then I look at, well, what is it asking me? It's asking me for 5 yards. So since yards is on top, I put the 5 yards on top here, and then the feet goes on bottom, and my X, or my unknown, would be here. And how could I solve this? Well, I could always use bat and ball. So 3 times 5 is 15, and then I could divide by 1. Well, 15 divided by 1 is still just 15 feet. Okay? So now let's look at this one. Kilometers to centimeters. Kilometers are big, centimeters are small. So because my arms are going in, I know I'm going to multiply all. Okay? So large to small, multiply all. Now, in this case, if I use proportion, I can't go on my chart straight from kilometers to all the way to centimeters. I have to go through meters. So I first made like a little train to see, well, how am I going to get there? So kilometers to meters to centimeters. So the first thing I need to do is make a proportion with just the first 2 units, okay? So I did kilometers here to meters, and since kilometers on top, I put kilometers here and meters. Again, this right here came straight off my chart. I looked on my chart and it said that 1 kilometer was 1,000 meters. And I'm starting with 3. So I put 3 with the kilometers. Now I'm going to use bat and ball to solve this. So 3 times 1,000, well that's 3,000, right? And then I divide by 1 is still 3,000. So this would be 3,000 meters. Now, because that is in meters and I still need to get to centimeters, I actually have to do a second proportion to get the actual thing I'm looking for. Then the kind of trick is here, if you write this little train, however many arrows you have is the number of proportions you're gonna have to use. Okay, so now I get, again, this comes off my chart because now I'm going from meters to centimeters. On my chart, it says that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. And now, what do I put over here? Well, I just found out this number right here, which is 3,000. So 3,000 meters is how many I have. And now I need to convert that right here to centimeters. So what is that? That's the final thing that I'm looking for. Again, I'm going to use bat and ball to solve this. So 3,000 times 100. Now you can multiply this out, and you can also use your trick of, hey, we're multiplying by 100, so really I'm just moving the decimal 2 places because there are 2 zeros. Okay, but just in case, this would all be zeros, then your zero placeholder, zeros, then 2 placeholders, that'd be 0, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3, or 300,000. And again, if I used that little trick and moved the decimal twice, I would just add basically 2 more zeros, which gives me 300,000. So then I found my answer now. For 3 kilometers, that would be 300,000 centimeters. Whew, that is a lot of centimeters. Okay, let's try this now that we don't already have it set up so you can kind of see what is the process, how do we get there. Okay, so first I'm gonna look at my chart and I know I'm going from cups to quarts. So can I go straight from cups to quarts? Well, I see cups to pints and I see pints to quarts, but I don't see cups to quarts. So I can't go straight there. All right, also I can also think of the little trick. Cups are small, quarts are larger. Since my arms are going out, I know I'm gonna have to use division here. So in other words, I know that this should be a smaller number than 32. Now, I'm gonna practice using proportions. So cups, I can go from cups to pints to quarts. Well, I have 2 arrows, so I know I'm gonna have 2 proportions. So I have to start with this cups and pints. So cups, pints, cups, pints. Remember your units have to match. So if you put cups on top, put cups on top, pints, pints. All right, so first I take something straight off my chart. All right, so the chart says that there are 2 cups in a pint. So I'm going to put 2 cups for 1 pint. All right, and right here, it's given me 32 cups. So 32 is what goes over here. Now I can use bat and ball to solve this. So 1 times 32 is 32, yay. And then divide by 2, so 32 divided by 2 would be 16. Now, all I've done is find the pints. I'm not done because I still need to find the quarts. So now I'm going to make my second proportion. So now I'm going from pints to quarts. So pints, quart, pints, quart. Okay, and again, the first side I'm going to just pull directly off my chart. It says that 2 pints are in a quart. 2 pints are in every quart. And how many pints do I have? Well, I just found that right there. I have 16 pints. So now I can find my missing number. Again, I can use bat and ball. 1 times 16 is 16. Divide by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So now I know that this would be 8 quarts. All right. Now, let's look at a word problem. April wants to buy 2.5 gallons of milk, but can only find quart-sized containers. How many quarts does she need to buy? Okay, well, I know I have gallons, and I'm trying to get to quarts. So first, I want to check on my chart and see, can I get straight from quarts to gallons and gallons to quarts? And yes, I have 1 gallon is 4 quarts, so I know the conversion there. So I'm going to be going from gallons to quarts. And since it's just 1 step, I only need 1 proportion. So I'm going to start by setting that up. Again, it doesn't matter if you put gallons on top or on bottom as long as it matches on both sides. So gallons, gallons, quarts, quarts. And on my chart, it says 1 gallon, blue, 1 gallon is 4 quarts, And how many do I have? Well, I have 2.5. Now, because I don't want to have to deal with fractions, I'd much rather deal with decimals. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 2.5 and use my Panther strategies about making the numbers more friendlier. Okay, so then right here, I'm going to put 2.5. I have 2.5 gallons, and this is my X, or unknown, what I'm trying to find out. Now I can use bat and ball. All right, so multiply 4 and 2.5. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10. And don't forget, you have 1 decimal spot, so 1 decimal spot. So that would be 10. Now, the ball is a 1. If I do 10 divided by 1, I still just have 10. So that means I need 10 quarts. Okay, I want you to go ahead and read the next one and see if you can figure it out without me. So go ahead and pause, and then we'll check and see how you did. All right, let's see. We have grams and kilograms. So first, I check on my chart. Can I get straight there? I see kilograms going to grams, so yes. So we have grams, and we're going to kilograms. All right, so I'm going to set up my proportion. Grams, kilograms, grams, kilograms. Okay, and on my chart, it tells me that 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So 1,000 would go up here with grams, and 1 would go with kilogram. And then up here, it tells me that 312.5 is how many grams I have. So I'm trying to find what this is. Now, here's another time where we can look at our relationship and make a conclusion about what this would be, or the size of it. If I look from 1,000 to 1, this is much bigger than the bottom. So this should be much bigger than what goes down here. So it's definitely smaller than 312. Then I look side to side. 1,000 to get to 312, it got smaller. So that means from 1, it should be getting smaller. So now I know that this is less than 1. So it has to be a decimal. Okay, now let's actually solve it, and that way we know at the end if our answer is reasonable. So I'm going to do bat and ball. And then here's the ball. Okay, so 312.5 times 1 is still 312. 0.5. And then I divide by 1,000. Well, 1,000 does not go into 3 or 31 or 312. My decimal's here, so put your decimal there. It goes into this 3 times, which is 3,000. Okay, I add a 0, bring it down. It goes into that number 1 time, which is 1,000. Okay, add a 0. It goes into 2,500 twice, which is 2,000. And add a 0, bring it down. It goes into that 5,000 5 times. Now I can stop because I have nothing left over. So you can see that I do have a decimal answer, which is less than 1, so that's good news. And my answer would be 0.3125 kilograms of hairspray. All right, there you go. So this is one way that you can use conversions or use proportions to help you convert. See you next time.